Fire to pride and Ukrainian flags displayed outside Cincinnati homes while people slept inside. The Cincinnati Fire Department arrested 52-year-old Thomas Niehaus after their investigation into a series of flag burnings with tiki torches in Clifton Heights, and Northside. Niehaus is believed to be the man seen on security video yelling homophobic slurs as he set those fires. The FBI charged Niehaus this week with criminal interference of the right to fair housing, fire in the commission of a federal felony, and malicious damage by fire to a building used in interstate commerce.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, guys. Well, first and foremost, welcome to today's show. Guys, I have I'm just warning you guys. This may be a little heated due to my personal views on how I see the entire LGBTQ plus community. Of course, over the years, it's nothing new, guys. I ran multiple pieces on this topic, and it's always going to catch heat within a certain group of people, obviously, on both sides. The right is going to see it as to a certain degree. The left will see it as a certain degree, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Guys, where to start with this? We want to try to digest it to see exactly why people have the intention, first and foremost, to hang pride flags or homosexual flags or however they want to label it, right? To begin with. And, let me just say something here as I continue the show. Folks, I am not that savaged within this topic. I'm not. I'm really not. You're going to understand what I mean by this, okay? And this goes out to, folks that are on the LGBT side. T. You notice I didn't put Q there. There's a reason why I didn't put Q, and you're gonna understand. Okay. I don't find the LGBT community to be that much of a radical stance. But what I do find to be radical is where the T comes in. Okay? The T and Q, which stands for trans and queer. Because I think, folks, out of the entire community alone, I find them to be heavily radical with extremists of mindsets. And I think they need to be spoken to and exposed for who they are. Because, again, if you'd like to practice that in the comforts of your home, if you feel that you'd like to live that type of lifestyle, go ahead, live it. It's not bothering me. I don't care if you want to date the same sex, okay? And you want to play Tickle Me Elmo, okay? I don't care. I really don't care. It's not affecting my life. It's not affecting anyone that I know that I can say that it's affecting their life. It's not. But what is affecting my life is when you push, and then you get our children involved. And then you set up this entire culture where we have to do like, the entire, like bowing down to your every demand. That is getting a little psychotic, if you ask me. So as we kind of continue with this program, I have a very, very special guest, a man that personally knew this individual. I'm considering, what is he considered, like his best friend, right, Tibbs? Or one of his close friends. You're going to want to stick around for this because I want to get his insights on how he views this. And maybe, just maybe, if he can speak for his friend, because obviously, his friend is still in trouble with the law with this and has been charged with a hate crime, as you heard through the news broadcast. Guys, stick around. Don't go anywhere. I got a lot more on this, guys.
Warning: this show contains strong language, brutal opinions, and zero apologies given. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to Savaged Unfiltered, where truth gets raw, opinions stay real, and nothing is off limits. This isn't your average podcast. It's the unfiltered conversation you've been craving. Politics, culture, chaos, we're diving into it all. No scripts, no safe spaces, just savage takes and real talk. You're in the right place. Strap in. It's time to get unfiltered. Savage.
All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Oof, it's going to be one of these episodes, guys, where, cutesy time right now it's going out the window, and rightfully so. A lot of us conservatives are fed up. I mean, we're dealing with so much right now, so much in this country, from literally ICE raids going through every major Democratic city, kind of gathering up all illegals that are committing crime, fraud, all that, okay, to still battling with the LGBTQ. No, you're right, Tibbs. The alphabet mafia, because that's what they're becoming, or trans Tifa. That they have so many names. I don't know where to start or what the appropriate measure of even calling them. I have respect for the other side of the community. I have respect for the LGBT, right? Or the LGB. You're right, Tibbs. I said it too fast. Take the T out. The LGB. That I'll give an extent of tolerance and acceptance. I don't agree with them. I will say this, that there is high levels of mental illness with them, even though I kind of will give them tolerance and acceptance to an extent. Okay, I'll give them tolerance. I'll give them acceptance. Right? If they stay in their lane, if they don't go to that radical point where the T and Q comes in and they want to charade their culture all over America and flush it down everybody's throats and bring our children in, indoctrination and all that garbage, that's where it goes out the window. That's when you lose my respect. That's when you lose my tolerance and acceptance. That's where I get fed up and I speak out and I go on shows like this and I expose them for who they are. A fucking bunch of psychotic nut jobs of lunatics. I said it. So I want to bring in a personal friend of this gentleman that was charged with a hate crime of not only burning a Ukrainian flag, if I had correct, but a pride flag quite recently. This is Sid Belly. Welcome into the show, Sid. How you doing?
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So
the
what is
price
your
was today in
insights on all
Cincinnati.
this, Sid? Yeah. I'm
It's
sorry for
not a
kind of
story.
going
It's
over
not a
you. Yeah.
story. It's not a story about pride flags. It's not a story about Tommy. It's a story about alcohol. That's what it's
Alcohol.
a story about. That's my opinion.
Mm.
I have been going to Probasco Fountain since I was in high school. I'm 41 now. There have always been tons of people, not like it's a loose clique, but it's like Tommy was one of us. We drank it over the years, and smart enough to move on because it was unproductive. So was I. I tried to travel a little, but Tommy moved on from the group, and he was door dashing. But to me, he was a friend because I was both happy to see him on the street and happy for him. And because he was a guy with the serenity practical sense. Okay.
Mm,
He, he, he prayer the night that he did. I I doubt he was intoxicated. He's got zero. I just don't see it as a story about a pride flag. It's a can do a 180 when he's on or an earthquake or some disgusting product available in the convenience store. You know, and I don't drink that stuff.
mm. Well, let me ask you something here. So, like,
Yeah.
that story I wasn't aware of Sid. You know, with the alcohol and possibly some type of substance abuse. You know, because that's what it seems like. You know, like if I'm getting at correctly. But I want to kind of like somewhat slim a little bit through that. Because I mean, yes, my heart goes out to anybody that's battling addiction. It does,
No,
and
he's not
even.
addicted.
Oh, he's not? Okay. I just I
He,
was assuming, yeah.
he, he was not one of. No, he got out of the group. Just, he was there. And he showed up
Mhm,
later. Uh, in this group, there's a ton of characters. Rogues Gallery, right? And, and and this guy was and there were a lot of people who played the guitar there, and like it's a great little community. In fact, it's the most diverse place in Cincinnati over the planet in Clifton, which was Northside is just
mm,
up the road, right? But the point is, like, he was a aficionado. I like, as am I. You know, there's a logic in the world. I probably don't like most of it. Connecting with people there, and he
mm,
tried to 180. You know, you know, like, he was respectful to me. He was. I and got out. He just later on, years later, I saw him on the DoorDash bike going up the, and he had a
mm,
rented bike. He was doing DoorDash really hard. I don't know what his living situation was. I can't speculate on that, but he was trying really hard, and he just said it wasn't productive to be imbibing daily with these characters. No, I mean, yeah. So he was. That's what I'm saying. Like I was both happy to see him and happy for him. You know, right. So other guys, if I couldn't be happiness, I might call them acquaintance.
okay, okay.
Uh,
So I have a question here with leading up to obviously his attention to, you know, ignite this flag, and not just flag. I want to use plural for flags, you know, because he did, you know, there was a
that
tension with the Ukrainian flag as well. So before we get to the
yeah.
Ukrainian, excuse me, it's my language today, Tips. Before we get to
He
the
was Tommy was
Ukrainian,
apolitical. Yeah.
yeah, well, hold on, one second.
He's
Before we get
yeah.
yeah, one second. Before we get to the
Okay.
Ukrainian deal, like I want to discuss the pride intention. Like, if you could speak on that, because obviously you knew him, okay, and obviously I wish he was
Uh,
here, but I
uh,
mean he's not anymore. You know, he's incarcerated that I know of. But what was his
and
main intention with that?
I, uh, it's just a lot of guys are homosexual. He thought that was at night because he was so under the influence.
Mm. So did he have some type of possibly, you know, hate towards that type of community, or
I never heard him
what?
say anything about that ever. I never knew him to care, and there were plenty of people around that spot that around, like look, these were characters who hang out here who the average person, like driving the minivan avoids. Okay. Like
Okay.
that's who we were. You know what I mean? And he never picked a fight or anything. He was not a confrontational guy. He'd like to come to an agreement with
Mm.
most things. Most it was about music. He mixed it up with the musicians mainly. And I there's a video of him I showed to you playing with the other guy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
but yeah, I was going to say that jail that he's in, I believe he's in Hamilton County Justice Center. That
Okay.
jail has hard. The water is hard. You get one or two pieces of fruit once a week, so you will get scurvy in that jail. And
Huh.
it's a very unhealthy place to be. Yeah.
Huh. Huh. Okay. So my next question is here. Like you, to your knowledge, you didn't see him having a problem with that type of community at all.
No. No.
But
And
he
that
had the
community.
intention to light that flag on fire. So that's why I'm trying to understand what made him go to that level.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have run-ins, they just have a personal encounter and it sets them off, it triggers them. I mean, there's so many different individuals in this city. I mean, let me tell you something about Cincinnati, okay? We don't get any natural disasters in Cincinnati. Why? Because a natural disaster comes to you in the form of a human being in Cincinnati. That's how natural disaster arrives. It's a cataclysm. Sometimes you will face karma in the form of a human being. So maybe that's what happened to him.
Mm, okay. Okay. Because I'm just trying to put the pieces together, and I'm like, okay, well, it seems like he wasn't this type of guy, but like maybe he did something out
Yeah.
in of the unordinary, and like you said, there has been some alcohol linked to his
He
background,
he
so
wasn't
maybe.
even particularly he wasn't even particularly opinionated about things. He might tell you stories.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, like this is and that makes
Because
me laugh. I mean, this guy.
the left right Sid, the left right now is pointing this out to be a hate crime. That's what they're saying. It's
Are they?
definitely a hate crime. Oh yeah, it's going all over. I mean, you've seen the newscast that picked this up. As we started out the program.
Well, I mean, Cincinnati, I mean, honestly, I don't think the media in Cincinnati represents the situation even very well, rather than, I mean, whether they're talking about police policy or civic policy or zoning policy or just some random thing that happened, they always pick the real stuff. I was talking to a homeless woman about Tommy, who was
Mm.
familiar with him. And she said to me that 10 years ago, this would have made the news. She's
Well,
probably
it's
like me.
making the
She's
news
lived her
now. I mean,
entire
it's
life.
it's not like it's not making the
Yeah.
news, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the type of
Well,
controversy in this country is backwards. Like where,
it's
you light a flag like Ukrainian flag. Like I get the Ukrainian flags. It's a flag from a nation. So I get that there would be some controversy there because it actually represents a nation. That
well, it's a
I would
violation
disagree
of the
with.
home. It's
Well,
it's a violation of the home, and that's the worst thing about it, right? But it's criminal
well,
damage.
well,
I
well,
mean, I mean, like that's
I
how I
I c
see it. And
I could see
but it's a story about alcohol.
I can see him lighting the Ukrainian flag on fire would be an issue. That I could see. Even though I don't agree with their politics. I don't agree with their politics, but I could see that an issue. But a pride flag, that's not a national federalized flag of a country. So,
I suppose that different people hang that flag for different reasons. That's all I can speculate. I
mhm.
suppose perhaps there's more than one reason that people uh uh fly a pride flag, I guess.
You think so?
I don't know. I mean, it's not something. Look, I see a lot of stuff in my environment
Yeah.
that look. I don't take evil lightly. Drip by drip is the bucket filled. I don't take evil lightly, and I see stuff in my environment that's disorderly. But I can
Mhm.
apply the serenity prayer logically without needing to get drunk either to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's as simple as that, Savage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, there's a
you
poll
know,
coming out. Did you see the poll with Gallup poll results? This was actually in August. Okay, so quite recently. Okay, maybe the statistics changed a little bit, but should burning the pride flag be legal in all contexts? Now, 45% are saying yes, 54% are saying no. So the percentage of what some 32,594 votes are saying no, it shouldn't be illegal when 45% are saying yes, it should be legal. This is not a national flag, folks. This is a cultural flag. This flag is not protected by any type of federal laws that I know of. I mean, is pride flags protected by federal laws? I don't know. Is it, Tibbs? I don't know.
I'm not a lawyer. You
I
know,
mean,
I don't know about all this fancy stuff at the federal. This fancy stuff doesn't really protect anybody from injustice.
yeah.
I mean, is this? I mean, honestly, like it is a violation of the home. It's not a burglary. You
Mm,
know, I mean, he would have gotten less, or well, I don't know it. I don't know. It's still in place, so I can't comment on that, right? You know, none of us can. It's a real trial, I guess.
I mean,
You know, but
is it gonna cause controversy in the country? Yes. Is it gonna cause bias in the country? Yes. Is it gonna cause negative views in the country? Yes, of course it is, because not everyone agrees with their narratives and their agendas. A lot of people, the majority of Americans that I mean, still live in that
you
1950s
know,
type of tradition.
well, man, he's got a public defender for a lawyer. A
Mm,
public defender for a lawyer. Okay,
does he
I mean,
really?
this is like he's not getting any help, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did see the
I
court
mean,
papers are offering. Did you see this? Okay. Because I'm trying to stick it within 30 minutes here. That's why I wanted to bring you
can't
on the
read
show to
that.
kind of talk about this. But the court papers are actually offering insight into a possible motive of why he did this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what? That's like asking, hey, why does it say Lot slept with his daughters in the Bible? You ask the question
Right.
why? Because he was drunk. I
Yeah.
mean, give me a break. It's just so it's not complicated. Yeah, I mean, who's going to tell me that any to be visually provocative? You know,
Mm,
whatever you think of the aesthetic design, I mean, a flag is it's a provocative thing. It's flies and looks, you know, colorful. I mean,
sure.
eh, yeah, I just don't see it as being about that. You know, it really is how easily somebody loses the way uh,
Mm,
with one for loco maybe
yeah. Yeah,
or
I hear
two.
you. But you know, we're gonna wrap it up. Because
Okay.
I wanted to bring you on to kind of like get some insights on this to tie it up and everything. But you know, I'm just as baffled as as you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's his lawyer is Robert Jones, uh, a public defender. I don't. I mean, I maybe things will progress in the way that.
You think he'll
Well,
progress though?
well, you know, I mean,
Well, since we're on this here, you know what? I'll give you a little bit extra time. Okay, I did want to stick within 30 minutes, but we'll go a little
no, I
over
know.
over if that's okay with you. So like I want to. I want to talk about this, but I also want to kind of get into relevance of what we're discussing here, because every single time people bring this up, they also forget this part here, that there are literally 10 LGBTQ plus communists from history, but they don't talk about that. They don't talk about why people have intentions to try to get rid of of um of
Yeah,
individuals like this within flags. So
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
I mean, you know, I'll say for my part, I have done worse than Tommy, and you know, it's got nothing to do with his whatever. I mean, drunk, yeah, and It's just like forgiveness is how we survive as a species. We don't just make an example of a drunk guy and crucify him like this, and it's just stupid.
That people are doing a lot worse.
It
I mean,
really
look at
is stupid, man.
Sid, people are doing a lot worse. Look at what's going to go on this weekend, right? With this whole no Kings protest, right? People are going to be taking, you know, don't get me wrong. They're entitled to do that because do I think it's wrong for taking a MAGA flag, putting it on the ground and then taking a lighter and setting it on fire? I think that's demented, if you ask me. Do I think? Hold on now,
Yeah.
hold on. Do I think it's demented for lighting any type of flag on fire? Sure, it is. There's mental illness to it. Even if you don't agree to their terminology, I think it's demented. Would I light a pride flag on fire? No. What I'm trying to get at, Sid, is I'm not saying I disagree with you or your friend. Okay, I have intention not to support that group. But would I light it on fire? No, because I think that's demented and it shows high levels of mental illness. And guess what? You know what you're doing? You're setting yourself up for their agenda. You're going into their agenda of what they do. So you're not showing
Yeah.
examples. What I would have suggested
Yeah.
was not to
It's
light
just
the not to light the not
Deb,
the
it's just this meat grinder.
yeah.
We can all jump inside this meat grinder and do a rah
Mm,
rah rah merry-go-round in
yeah.
this meat grinder. Or you just step back and say, forgive and forget. I mean, I'm not saying, look, okay, it's a violation of the home and that's a crime.
Yeah.
But the fancy stuff is bull, is bull.
It is. It is. I
And
mean,
and
what does it
and,
solve though,
and that
Sid? Sid, seriously, what does it solve? Does it solve anything by lighting a fire, whether you're on the right or the left? Does it solve anything? Even the American flag, what does it solve? Possibly embarrassment,
it doesn't solve
possibly
anything.
possibly network embarrassment by networks picking this up and exposing people like this. It's an
Yeah,
embarrassment, like, but
yeah.
you should have done it a lot differently. I mean, do I agree with your friend doing what he did? Yes and no. Do I agree
He didn't
of
have to do
why
that.
he
I
did
mean,
it?
he didn't have to for any of us. We would have loved him
No.
all the same. I mean,
Mm.
like maybe he thought he was straight. I don't know. A lot of guys go through it. I don't know. Maybe it's that zone in town. You feel like you got to prove something or something. I don't even know, man. People acted out in crazy ways in the center of the city.
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah,
They do. They
yeah.
do.
Just good. I
Yes.
mean, just yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Stick around. 1 second, Sid. Guys, every Friday, we do these small little bonus episodes called Savage 10. That's right, guys. I deliver stuff within 10 minutes. Some people like the long, lengthy episodes. Some people like, the short episodes. But we take things, whether it's on a personal note or stuff in the news, and we just give it to you guys right in 10 minutes. So check every Friday, guys, as we basically, kind of go into that whole scenario. Savage 10, guys, available on Spotify or anywhere you hear a podcast for that matter. Back to the show. So Sid, is it a touching subject? Absolutely. Should he be in prison for what he did? Uh, Maybe yes and no. The reason why I say no is because it's not a flag that is protected by the federal government of laws. Should he
What are they
be in
going to
prison?
correct? If we run a correctional institution, then what are we correcting? Or is it a
Yeah,
panhandler factory? Is it a
yeah.
panhandler factory or is it a correctional institution? I mean, are you
I
trying to break a man or are you trying to
well, that's
empower him
that's
to
what I'm.
change or better?
I I,
I,
I wholeheartedly agree with you. I really do. I
yeah,
wholeheartedly agree with you.
we
Okay,
need criminal justice reform at large in this country in the first
I
place.
I get. Yeah, I get state
Yeah,
prosecutors, okay, and other, officials that want to, throw the book at this guy, like literally like corrupted DAs that want to throw the book at this. I get it. I get it. They
yeah.
because they want to protect that agenda, okay? But if anything, he should be charged with would be probably like trespassing on private property and possibly damaging somewhat of the holder that the damn flag was held up. That's it. Come on, that's a
called
small
criminal.
that's a small
That's a
level felony. Well, small level felony.
And if the targeted residents were to know, I wonder if they've got the, it's just like anybody might. Anyway,
I
that's
don't know.
just
Like
from
what
me
was
wondering.
his what was his, I mean, obviously you went into some of, his personal side.
We had to take,
Like what was this guy like?
Personal story about him, man. I'll tell you a personal story about him, man. We had a dear friend who died of fentanyl poisoning, and he just so happened to be my case manager's godson.
Oh wow.
And Tommy came up to me on the street without even knowing and eulogized him, so that I was able to tell my case manager that his godson was deceased of this tragedy. And everybody, Tommy cared. Everybody cared about this guy, but enough to stop his bike and say, "Tell me about life."
Mm.
I mean, it's I'm a schizophrenic. I got a case manager. Anyway, that's not important.
That's your personal. That's your personal story. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, you bring it up, but I mean,
I had a treated success.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Hey guys, stick around because we're talking to a personal friend of Tommy, the gentleman that got charged with a hate crime of burning culture flags of on my opinion, one cultural flag and one technically it's a flag of Ukraine. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Ukraine thing before we kind of close it up here with Sid. But guys, stick around. I got a lot more here right after these short words. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Savage. Unfiltered.
In a world where words ignite wars, the truth is under siege. Discover weaponizing words into violence, The Left's War, the explosive new expose by Michael Gardner, host of the Savaged Unfiltered show. Unmask how radical rhetoric fuels division, censorship, and real-world chaos. From campus cancel culture to street-level fury, Gardner arms you with the facts to fight back. This isn't just a book, it's your battle plan. Pre-order now and reclaim the narrative. Weaponizing Words into Violence, The Left's War by Michael Gardner. Words can wound, don't let them win. Get yours today.
This conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. Yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise.
This country will do whatever must be done to protect its own security and that of its allies.
General, we got a message from Khrushchev which said that he would withdraw these missiles, providing we did not plan to invade Cuba.
Now the time has come for this nation to fulfill its promise.
A country is as strong really as its citizens, and I think that mental and physical health, mental and physical vigor go hand in hand.
A great change is at hand, and our task, our obligation, is to make that revolution, that change, peaceful and constructive for all.
Run in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies.
President Kennedy has been assassinated.
And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again.
The time for debate is over.
The time has come to unite. We are a strong and we are a courageous people. I am announcing today my candidacy for the presidency of the United States. I do not run to oppose any man, but to propose new policies. Policies to end the bloodshed in Vietnam. Policies to close the gaps that now exist between black and white, between rich and poor. I run for the presidency because I want the Democratic Party and the United States of America to stand for hope instead of despair. My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible?
Break the silence, damn the dark, damn the light.
If you're going to do anything important with your life, there's going to be a hero's journey where you go through the valley of death, you feel you're completely alone. When my uncle was president, everybody was talking about Camelot, and I ended up reading a book about Camelot called The Once and Future King. It gave me the capacity to process pain in a different way. The trick to life is to not have expectations, but just to know what your duty is and to do it. You become relentless. Nobody can defeat you.
Tonight, I'm very pleased to welcome Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Don't you want healthy children? And don't you want the chemicals out of our food? And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the show. Wow, again, guys, I'm usually, I mean, Tibbs, you're right. I'm usually right on point with things. You know, I set standards here certain times. You know, like with the show, I like to go in a certain format, but this is getting interesting, and I truly appreciate Sid Belly here on the show, kind of explaining a little bit of his friend on how he seen society, on how he viewed this type of culture. I mean, again, Sid, the narrative of the story is, you know, like as he's sitting in prison, do you believe that maybe he regrets what he has done or not? Because the reason why I say that is before you go into that, if you look at videos, he was what? I'm sorry.
Melody in court. I mean, my personal belief, when a guy tells you that he caught a case for BS, and then he tells you about all this other, I'm not talking about Tommy, I'm saying a guy, another on the street.
Okay.
He says, I caught a case for BS. I caught a case for BS, and then he says about all this other dirt that he didn't catch. I said, well, maybe God gave you a case of BS, but it's only apparently actually for your dirt. You know, about crime and punishment. That's a stupid way of looking at it, I think. You know, because this isn't injustice. You know, when I was in jail, swatting in an inappropriate, I was swatted. I responded with an automatic weapon, and I know that the jail has hot water. It's very unhealthy there, and they need to increase food, in my opinion. I lost 50 in 110 days.
Yeah. I mean, jail is not a fun place. It's not. It's not a place to, you know, to call yourself, you know, a normalize I mean, you're not normal at that point, in my personal opinion. You're a monster of certain degrees because you committed a crime. And should you be there? Yeah, wholeheartedly, you should be there. I don't believe that, oh, they don't belong in jail because they didn't mean to do what they did. Of course they meant what they did, whatever type of crime it is. Now, do I agree with these prosecutors going after Tommy here, your buddy of this? No, I don't. I don't. I think that if anything, should he be charged with a crime? To an extent, he should. The trespassing, maybe he should have thought about that first and handle it another way.
No.
The setting the thing on fire, maybe he should have done it differently. Was it a little extreme? A little bit. You know.
Law in America, we have that's the
Yeah.
It's just we're not talking about it, because I'm sure you know what it is. Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
He's probably saying himself feeling bad about other things, not this. He's in his all his mind about like, oh, 20, 30, 40, like that. Probably stuff from his childhood he's thinking about himself. He's got Z writers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I would agree to that. Yeah. Check out this video here I want to plug relating to what we're discussing here.
My words does lie in its diversity and unity, embracing people of all backgrounds, identities, and experiences to build a more inclusive Fort Worth, where every person is valued and free from discrimination. Now, therefore, I, Maddie Parker, the mayor of Fort Worth, do hereby proclaim that y'all means all and proclaim June as Pride Month in the city of Fort Worth. God bless.
Let me just say something on that, okay? I understand we live in a country that we're allowed to practice our expressions. We're allowed to openly discuss our views and our opinions. I get all that, guys. That's what makes our Constitution so beautifully. That's what makes our republic stand out from any other nation on this planet. I get all that. I really do. But I have to be careful on how I say this because, well, you know what? No, you're right, Tibbs. I don't have to be careful on how I say this. Do we need to put in our Constitution of pronouns and identities and certain months and this and that? Well, Savage, if we don't allow them to say their pronouns and identify as whatever they want to identify and have their month, then guess what? We will go down as a nation of biased, discriminatory of actions. We will. We will. To a certain degree, we will. So it's a two-way street, Sid, right? It's a two-way street. Like we have to allow it to a certain degree, right? But like, if we don't, it's like devil's advocate. Like it's like a two-way street, right? If we don't allow it, then we're going to be known as that nation, right? Or that group of people.
Well, I'm a linguist, and it's just like he is inclusive. He is a generic word, and means when the gender is unspecified, you can generically use the word he. That's just been true in English for hundreds of years. Simple as that. And nobody is going to tell me that he is necessarily a masculine pronoun. Generic pronoun. It's a neutral pronoun. It can be, and nobody's going to tell me otherwise. So we can deal. Yeah, I really think this is a lot of
There's the
on both.
problem right there. You know, like if we don't, if we have that opinion, why do we have to be channeled out? Like, I don't care if you want to be called a fucking mushroom or a fucking plant. I don't care if that makes you happy. Go ahead. Go shout in your house or your fucking car and say, I'm a plant today. I'm a cell phone. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the push, the push, the push, the push, the push, the push. You have to like it. You have to appreciate it. You have to support it. You have to do this and that and that. And I don't have to do that, Sid. You don't have to do that. I think that's what drove maybe your friend to that level of degree. You know, I'm fucking fed up. I'm going to fucking
Yeah,
do it.
I thought he was way more headstrong than this. That's what I thought of him. I mean, and he still has my respect. I just don't know how much he drank. Yeah, I mean, because
I don't know either. But anyways, I do want to thank you for coming on. I really do. Guys,
thank you, sir.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Now guys, as we kind of close it out, you know, I did, you know, go a little over time, but I wanted to hear a little bit more about this. And I want to leave a small comment with you, Sid, before we close out with the Ukraine thing, because I do want to leave that in because my audience is like, whoa, Savage, you never said the Ukraine thing. I do want to kind of go into that because it does have some type of relevancy of what's going on here. But guys, if you want to be a part of this program here, please feel free to reach out at michael@savageunfiltered.com or just hit me up in a DM on any type of social media platform. I'm on just about all of them. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble, anywhere you can see me, even in the comments on Spotify. If you don't follow me on Spotify, get your ass over to Spotify and hit that follow button. Appreciate it. And leave the comments too, because it kind of helps to know who's checking us out. But that being said, Sid, real quick, what was his view on Ukraine? I'm kind of concerned on knowing that. Because it did say that he lit the fire. Yeah.
I can tell you that Tommy is the friend of another friend of mine who has a daughter in Russia, and so war broke out. I mean, like, what was that? 2014 was Crimea, and that was as big of a deal as the formal invasion. I guess that was like 20. What was that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was just
couldn't invaded.
I was just I'm sorry. I was just kind of curious on how he felt about that. I mean, obviously I'm kind of hearing like maybe it was on a personal note of why he did that. I mean, because of obviously what's going on with Russia and stuff like that. So that's what I'm just kind of, you know, pinning you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, well, these guys, I think are close to like conservative hippies, maybe you might say. Like, I guess a hippie is conservative by today's standards. I think we're all flower children around Tabasco Fountain. You know, I mean, in a weird way, honestly. We don't dwell in the out group, you know what I mean? Because you're already showing so much tolerance for the kind of rough characters you're mixing it up with in the first place that you're not going to like meditate on geopolitics much. You know? I really don't know what maybe he thinks that the Ukrainian flag has something to do with the pride flag, and you know, maybe it was I think you know, it's like people are like very short-sighted. They're very like, I see it. I
They
want
have
to burn
different
it. You know
views.
what I mean?
Yeah. The hatred.
He was. This was all in a row, all in one night. He just did one flag after the other, you know, and it's just like, man, and stupid. But we don't. It's how do I'm about the Ukraine war? I I guess I have my own feelings. Like I, I don't know. I've just lived in
Yeah.
it's blessed to be in a land that's at peace. I don't want
Okay.
you know what I mean? I like to not is like wars are by definition involving so much deception. Deception is so much a part of that. There's a part of you that wants to be ignorant about it, right?
Mm.
Um, and I'm not saying I think you can without
Oh.
dwelling on horrible violence. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, it's maybe, but yeah, I don't think he never talked about that. I mean, maybe better than one guy in the group that actually did have opinions, but he was the person that I what his worldview was. You know, because he was just like maniacal about, but that wasn't Tommy,
Mm.
and that wasn't the guy who's yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I hear you. But I do want to say one thing here. I wish the best for Tommy. I really do. I hope he gets the best damn attorneys in the world to fight this because it's ridiculous of why he's in there to begin with. Besides the trespassing, I think he went a little overboard with the trespassing issue. But I'm being honest with you guys. Even my conservative audience would probably most likely agree with me. Um, uh, I'm sure the ones on the left will be like, "See, he got everything that's coming to him. He's a bigot, he's a racist, he's a homophobe, he's all this stuff." Guys, let's stop all that. Did he go a little overboard with what I just mentioned with the trespassing and possibly going into that extreme level? Yeah. Yeah, he did a little bit. Do I agree why he has those intentions? To an extent, I do. I understand why he was angry. A lot of us feel the same way. Would I go to somebody's house and burn somebody's flag? Probably not, but I'm just putting that out there. But here's something I like to say real quick with you, Sid. Um, I would hope to see if I can get Tommy on the show to explain his side of the story because I think, a lot of us that heard, you know, your take on your friend would also like to hear his view as well too. So I would love to hear his side of the story because I'm sure he does have his side of the story too, and it would make it a hell of a lot more interesting.
I can only speculate. What confirmed that it was fires.
Mm,
But yeah, all this stuff, I mean, some
okay.
of it's here because I've had with them all, but yeah, you know what he's thinking, how he feels about the music. And he played.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you're starting to break up here, but we get you. It might be maybe some storms or whatever. I get it, but I do want to thank you for coming on, Sid. I appreciate the hell out of you for coming on. But other than that, guys, I'm going to close it out. It's a touching subject. It is. Um, I just I know what we need to do. I know how we can go through all this in our country. I have the answers. I have the solutions, but it may not work for just about everybody in this nation, if you understand what I mean. It takes a really strong-minded individual um, to just accept. Listen to what I mean by that, for folks. Accept what is currently going on now. Okay, whether it's radical or normal, and then take appropriate action. Destroying public property, whether you agree with it or not, is not the answer. That does not solve anything besides angry people and possibly prison time. But how you can do it is go through the proper channels. Okay? Go to public hearings. Voice out within your community on a respectable, appropriate method. And that's how things get done. I am not mad at Sid's friend. I understand his intentions. I understand why he decided to do what he did, to those flags. He has his opinions. Now, are they radical opinions? I don't think so. I think he was just upset. It's not like he, went on a crazy, riot spree and went all over the damn area of Cincinnati and decided to, light everything on fire. It's not that. It's just he was getting upset, folks. Okay? So I want to send my condolences and my thoughts out to your friend Sid, and I hope this can get turned around for him soon. And I'd like to have him on the show because I'd like to speak to him about a few things. Some things that I would need to speak to him about that, obviously he can touch on. But I do appreciate your time. I really do. I know we were getting some, disturbance on your end because, obviously, Sid joining us on his cell phone, folks. But I do appreciate your time, Sid, and thank you very much for coming on, buddy. Appreciate the hell out of you. So,
thank you, sir. God keep you, and thank you.
All right, take it easy. So, anyway, guys, thoughts, comments of what we discussed, guys. I got to get out of here. I really do. I think the conflict of this discussion is not over, and I just, it's always going to be on the radar of discussing anything regarding LGBT or Q or the trans community or any of that, especially what's going on right now with ICE and all that. It's going to be an ongoing issue, guys. But it needs to be said. We need to restore our republic, guys. We need to restore our country to where it should have been from the get-go. We need to end this mayhem. We need to end the chaos. We need to end the division. We need to get along to an extent. We don't have to agree on everything. We can do that. Tolerance and acceptance to an extent. I will give you tolerance. I will give you an acceptance to an extent. But we need to put out the line of the sand still and say, that's your opinion. This is my opinion. That's it. That's all it goes. It doesn't go any further than that. And it shouldn't escalate to any degree within that level. Guys, I'm Savage. Thank you very much. Make sure you join us tomorrow for Savage 10-minute short episodes. And we'll catch you later, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. And till next time, guys.
This had been a Truth Productions media episode. Thank you for listening.